Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm the student leader with the Benyon Center's Service Corner. Today I'm going to show you how to knit hats the way we like them. We make hats every year and distribute them to our local community experiencing homelessness in the winter. So the first step is we're going to tie some yarn around this peg. This will help us just keep track of the yarn, and we will untie it and finish the hat at the end. So just tie it around once, not too tight. You want to be able to untie it. And then you start wrapping each individual peg. I like to think of it as like all the pegs are little people, and they're putting their arms around each other behind their backs. So you want to go counterclockwise and around the back. Okay, once you're done with the first round, you just want to kind of use your hands to push these down, because we're going to need to do multiple rows of this to get started, and then you just keep going around. So the second row should be the same, like they're putting their arms around each other, and it should be on top of the first row that we just did. But be very careful not to wrap too tight, because it will be really hard to knit. It might feel like your yarn is gonna break and snap, because yarn is kind of stretchy, and so allow it to have that stretch, and you should generally start to get a feel for when it's too tight, because it will be really hard to loop over, and it shouldn't be difficult. So now we've done 2 rows. I'm going to lower this row, and I'm going to do 1 more time around. This one should be on top of the other 2 rows. So now we have the hat entirely set up, and what we do next is pull the bottom row over the top 2 rows and off the peg. So just like that. Again, this shouldn't be very hard. So if it's really difficult to pull over, you've probably done it too tight. It's okay, it'll just take a little bit more effort to pull it over the peg, but next time you wrap around, you are going to want to make sure to do it looser. That is it. That's the first row of your hat. And now we just repeat that process until the hat would be big enough for a head. So yeah, you just continue that. You keep pushing down, and then you wrap around again, and you just repeat this process until your hat is long enough to finish. So now I'm going to move over to a different hat that is ready to finish, so I can show you that. Now I have an almost finished hat. You untie the little bit on the peg that you did at the beginning, and this is going to be one end of the hat, so you can kind of see that it's the right size now. And instead of wrapping around like you've been doing and having a 3rd row and hooking over, you're going to switch to a needle, and you will grab some scissors and cut off the yarn at around 6 or 8 inches. It doesn't have to be precise, and you'll thread the needle. And the way you finish is you go underneath the 2 rows left on the peg, pull it over the peg, and then you pull the needle through like that. And do that all the way around. Okay, so now we are on our last peg that needs to be threaded. So we do it the same way we've been doing before. Over, pull the needle through, and now you can see you've got your hat. And so what you want to do to tie the knot and finish it is poke the needle through this little hole on the top, and you flip it inside out, and then you grab your thread again. Thread the needle. Now that you have your hat inside out, you just want to string your needle through 2 of the loops of yarn to tie a knot, and then you grab this piece of your yarn, of the threaded needle, you wrap it around 2 or 3 times, and you pull everything through. And this should create a secure knot for the end of the hat. And you just cut the excess off. And you do the same thing for the start of the hat. Thread the needle, go under 2 loops, and then circle your thread around the needle 2 or 3 times, and you pull. Sometimes it can be hard to get it all the way through. That's okay. And then you pull, de-thread the needle, and you should have a good secure knot right here. If the needle knotting ever gives you a problem, you usually can just do like a regular knot where you're tying the yarn together. We recommend you do a needle knot, but sometimes you can do a secure knot just with your hands. And so that is it. Now we've got a finished hat.